The Betrayal in the Shadows. Emily and David had always been the golden couple. Their friends often described them as the epitome of love, the kind of relationship everyone else aspired to have. They met during their senior year of college, a chance encounter at a mutual friend's party. Emily was studying graphic design, and David was pursuing a degree in finance. They clicked instantly, their chemistry undeniable. Fast forward 6 years, and they were married, living in a charming suburban home with their Labrador, Milo. Emily had established herself as a successful freelance designer, while David had climbed the corporate ladder at a prestigious financial firm. From the outside, their lives seemed picture perfect. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form. Small at first, like hairline fractures, but soon spreading wider. Emily first noticed the change in David's behavior when he started working late more frequently. At first, she didn't think much of it. Big promotion means bigger responsibilities, she told herself. But then his excuses became more elaborate, and his phone was suddenly always glued to him, even in the bathroom. You're being paranoid, Emily thought. But the seed of doubt had been planted. One night, as David slept soundly beside her, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Emily's curiosity got the better of her. She reached for the phone, her heart pounding. It was a message from someone named Samantha. Miss you already. Can't wait for next time. Emily felt her stomach drop. Who was Samantha? The next morning, Emily couldn't shake the message from her mind. She decided to do some digging. David had always been a creature of habit, so when he left for work, Emily started piecing things together. She found receipts in his jacket pocket for dinners at restaurants they'd never visited together and a hotel bill that made her stomach churn. Maybe it's a work thing, she rationalized, clinging to any plausible explanation. But deep down, she knew. Later that week, she created a fake social media account and searched for Samantha. It didn't take long to find her. Samantha's profile was public, filled with selfies, gym updates, and, most damningly, a picture of David's tie draped over a chair with the caption, "Missing my favorite man." Emily's heart raced as she prepared to confront David. She rehearsed what she would say, but when the moment came, the words stuck in her throat. Instead, she simply handed him her phone, displaying the incriminating photo. David's face went pale. Emily, I can explain, he began, but she cut him off. Explain what, David? That you've been cheating on me? That you've been lying to me? Her voice cracked with emotion. How long has this been going on? David stammered, searching for the right words. Finally, he admitted it had been going on for 6 months. But it didn't mean anything, he insisted. It was a mistake. A mistake? Emily's voice rose. A mistake is spilling coffee on the couch. Sleeping with someone else is a choice. David moved out that night, staying with a friend while Emily tried to process everything. She oscillated between anger, sadness, and disbelief. She wanted answers, but didn't know if she could handle the truth. She confided in her best friend, Sarah, who had always been her rock. Sarah was furious on Emily's behalf. You deserve so much better than this, she said. You can't let him walk all over you. But Emily wasn't sure what she wanted. Part of her still loved David, despite his betrayal. Was it possible to rebuild what they had? Or was the damage too great? As Emily delved deeper into David's affair, she discovered that Samantha wasn't the only woman. There had been others, brief encounters that David had kept hidden. Each revelation felt like a dagger to her heart. She confronted him again, this time armed with the full extent of his infidelity. David broke down, confessing that he had been unhappy for years but didn't know how to communicate it. I never stopped loving you, he said through tears, but I felt lost. Emily was torn. She could see the pain in his eyes, but she couldn't ignore the pain he'd caused her. Emily began seeing a therapist to help her navigate her emotions. She also suggested couples therapy to David, who agreed, desperate to make amends. Their sessions were intense, filled with raw honesty and tears. Emily learned that David's actions stemmed from insecurities and unaddressed childhood trauma, but understanding the reasons didn't erase the hurt. Months passed, and Emily slowly started to rebuild her sense of self. She took up yoga, joined a local art class, and reconnected with friends she'd drifted away from during her marriage. Through it all, David tried to prove he had changed. He quit his job to avoid temptation, deleted his social media, and was fully transparent about his whereabouts. A year after the affair came to light, Emily and David stood at a crossroads. Therapy had helped them both grow, but Emily wasn't sure if she could fully forgive him. She took a solo trip to clear her head, journaling her thoughts and reflecting on what she wanted for her future. When she returned, she and David had a heart-to-heart. "I'll always care about you," she said, "but I need to choose myself this time." David nodded, tears in his eyes. "I understand, and I'll always regret hurting you." They parted amicably, both determined to move forward with their lives. Emily filed for divorce, but there was no bitterness, only a mutual understanding that they had grown apart. In the years that followed, Emily flourished. She started her own design studio, traveled the world, and eventually met someone who treated her with the love and respect she deserved. David also found peace, working on himself and building a healthier relationship with his emotions. Though their story didn't have the fairy tale ending they once envisioned, it was a tale of resilience, growth, and the strength to let go. Sometimes love isn't enough, and that's okay. What mattered most was that Emily found herself again, and that was a love story worth telling.